She is my wife. Her name is Kristen. Some people were asking. She's rated 218 rapid on chess.com, and she's going to play the first 10 moves, I think, for the first 2 games, and then we might make her play 10 moves in the middle just to mix it up. Again, same thing like last time, but let's see what positions we get. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's do this. Peter-Patzer, here we go. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, don't know. Are you copying me?
Okay, let's talk about what happened. So, e4, great. You get the center, you get 2 pawns out there. That's perfect. Okay, French, we take it. Nothing wrong with that. Developing, great. So far, so good. Bishop f4, great move. Bishop b5, yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't have taken that, but it's fine. You double up the pawns, nothing wrong with it. It's a trade, okay. I think I would have castled here, but this is not bad either. You push the bishop back, you gain some space. And since our king's probably not going to be over here anyway, we didn't really create too many weaknesses. So this is a great position. So
Thanks.
good job. Did you want to slide in? Or
Yeah.
Okay, she's going to stay off camera. All right. So yeah, our position is solid. The only thing I want to make sure of is, am I about to lose a pawn? So if he takes me, I don't want to take back with the pawn and double up and open up my king. So I'll have to take with the queen, which means I might lose this pawn, right? That's the only thing that I noticed going on here. So how can I fix that? Maybe bishop e5 just to support it that way. Yeah, let's do that. So now my pawn is defended. If they take, I can take back and I don't have to worry about losing this pawn. And maybe now I'm ready to castle. Okay, they castle. I think I'm going to castle too. Get the king out of the center. We don't want to run into any problems where a rook is lining up on our king. Like that, okay? So let's think. Any weaknesses that we can take advantage of? Not really. Black's position's pretty solid. I might play h3 to see if they'll bite on this trade. That would be a good trade for me. Brings my queen out to an aggressive square, puts pressure on the knight. And you want to be careful moving pawns in front of your king. However, this is sometimes a useful move because like later on in the game, when pieces start getting traded, we don't want to get back rank checkmated. And so I'm always going to have a place for my king to go. So it's kind of a useful move, I think. Okay, they made a smart decision by not trading, I think. So maybe rook e1, just getting control of the file. Yeah, let's just do that. We'll put the rook there. a5, that's a pretty good move, actually. I think I'm going to leave it. Because if I take, this becomes an isolated pawn. We have double isolated pawns, which are very weak. I think if I just leave it, then I can just recapture back. So when you're in a situation like this, you don't want to take, you're just waiting. A lot of times moving your queen up to connect your rooks is a good strategy. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go here so I keep my knight defended. Because if I would have gone to like d2, they could take, and then I have to mess up my pawn structure. So I'm going to go here. My rooks are now connected. And for example, takes. I have the other rook ready to go. I can come over and get control of the file. And that would be a good situation. That might be exactly what happens. Looks like they might take here. They do. Okay, so we take back and look at this. We now have control of the A file. I think black is playing a pretty nice game, though. I don't think they've really made any mistakes. Yeah, I mean, this idea of A5 was pretty smart to try to activate the rook. So we have a pretty equal game, actually. 17 moves in. So let's see. Queen D7, yeah, another good move. I guess it does allow me to take and mess up the pawn structure. Now, the issue is I have 2 knights against 2 bishops. The bishop is kind of powerful, so I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. Because I don't see a clear way to attack, the king after that. Yeah, I might not do that. I think what I'll do instead maybe is go here. I have to be careful with that, actually. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to try to trade the bishop. I said I have to be careful because rook a8 would be an interesting move, pinning me. And I would have to figure out, am I going to defend my rook with like the queen? Or maybe move it to a3 so it's defended so that I can move my knight? We almost have a tactic where I take a queen, right? But it doesn't work because this is with check. So maybe I even move my king to get away from the check. That could be a move. First, let's see if they even play rook a8. Might play something else. But my plan is basically to trade this knight for this bishop. Okay, so they jump into the center. That's a pretty good move, I think. Are they threatening anything? I don't think so. I think we can go ahead and take this. I don't see any threat, so we'll go ahead and take the bishop. And probably attack with the rook. Looks pretty good. Yeah, let's do it. Lining up on the weak pawn here. Maybe I'll even swing the queen over and really try to take control of this A file. And I'm getting down to 2 minutes, so I'm going to start moving a little faster. 2 minutes is kind of the part of the game where in a 10-minute game, I'm like, okay, 2 minutes. Now I need to really pick up the pace a little bit, especially because the opponent is playing really good. We're going to need some time, I think, for the end of the game. So let's go a little faster. We'll go over here. Now I have this battery, so I can invade here maybe. Maybe even on the back rank, because the king doesn't have any escape squares, so maybe we could get a back rank checkmate. They take me now. Okay, I don't really want to mess up my pawn structure, so I am going to take with the queen. And I might just go back their next move, right? We avoided the pawn structure. Let's just check. There is knight here, though. Queen a3, knight c4. I move. I'm going to take my bishop, so I guess I have to avoid that. So maybe we go here, threatening checkmate. How is black going to stop that? Oh, they have, they had f6. f6 would have been a really nice move. I think they missed an opportunity there. Okay. So whenever I see the dark square weaknesses like this, I'm going to try to get my queen here somehow, right? Either from like this or like this. So I'm going to play queen f4 to attack the knight and give myself multiple ways to get there. Okay, so they stopped one of them, but they didn't stop this one. So I'm going to go ahead and threaten checkmate. Now they could play f6, which would be a good move, and stop that. Let's see if they're going to notice it. I'm getting the vibe that they probably will, so I think I'm going to be ready to retreat my bishop if that happens. I probably here, I guess I could go here and let him take. I don't know if I want to keep the bishop or not. Yeah, maybe I'll just keep it with here. But it looks like they're noticing that there's a checkmate, so they're taking their time. They're trying to figure out a way to stop it. They play knight f6. Okay, so finally I think they made a mistake because it's just a free piece. And remember what I said earlier about having this place to move my king? Now we actually see it in action where that move came in handy, right? They have a fork, but you guys see how I can save myself in that situation? Bishop e5. So we block the check and we save the piece at the same time. So let's see if they notice that. They basically have to, otherwise we do have checkmate here. So They were playing great up until knight f6. That was, they do resign. So, all right. Close game, actually, for a while. Let's check the game. I think Black played a pretty nice game. Yeah, 75. Not bad. Not bad at all. Until the very end, they were, playing good moves. Okay. Good job. Got into a good position. Ready for the next game?
Yep.
All right. Let's go for the next one. Okay.
To trade or not to trade? Not sure if that's a good move or not, but I did it because I didn't want to trade right now. Then the queen would be out. Queen's just going to take it everywhere. Ah, where do I go? I don't know. I just have to not lose on time. It keeps advancing. Ugh. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. He literally chuckled. He probably didn't pick up on the mic. It's fine. He'll have to play the end of this game. If I do the blue here. Oh, that was not what I meant to do. I didn't even know I had clicked on it. I can't believe I missed that bishop. Okay. All right. So the queen. I'm doing that so I can castle next. Not sure if that's good or not, but I'm trying to protect that bishop too.
Okay, let's talk about this game. This was interesting. So you captured, great. There is nothing wrong with trading here. Yes, it brings the queen out, but then it's your turn. You develop another piece. The game goes on. So that would have been okay. Or you just develop another piece right now, right? You could bring out your bishop. You could push this pawn to get this bishop out. That would have been fine. Moving it here just kind of set yourself up to get attacked, right? Which you
over and over and over again.
And then you needed to go back to where you came from because now that the pawn has been pushed, he can't attack you anymore. So you just go back, and then if they attack with the bishop, you just defend or something like that.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. So that was bad. This was actually not a bad move to mouse flip.
The mouth slip.
Yeah. Because you let this bishop out, you get a little control over the center, you kind of shut down the bishop. So this was great. C6 would have been probably okay too, but I'd like bishop d7. And then queen e7, I would have just attacked the queen probably. Because it's not really threatening this, you just take it.
Oh.
So I would have just chased it away, right away. But not so bad. And then you took this, that was good. Okay. So when you have a position like this where there's a lot going on, we need to start at the top and work our way down. What's most important? Well, the kings. So do I have checkmate? Well, no, that's well defended. I don't really have any backup for my queen. I do have a check here, which looks like a fork. So that's something to keep in mind. But I can also just take that bishop. So, okay. So this seems like one move that I should definitely consider right away, just a free bishop. But first, is there anything dangerous happening to my king? No. I mean, I just take it. Bishop, okay, it's not really going to move anywhere. The knight is pinned. So now that we've kind of identified everything, I think taking this bishop is the best move. And it comes with a nice attack on the knight. Even though it's defended one time or two times, I am threatening to maybe take that. Okay, knight c3, what did it attack? Well, my queen, right? And I can no longer take that. It's defended very well. So let's see. This looks undefended. This looks undefended. All of these things look undefended. So we have a lot of options. And which one is better? Well, I don't know. This one looks good because it sort of stays close to my king and adds some support and attacks. I am a little bit concerned about rook f1 though, because then I have this and this. Looks like I could still move to g6 and be okay. This one is close to the king and threatens this. I kind of like that. This one's close to the king and threatens this. That's also good. But again, I'm worried about rook f1, although the pawn would still be in the way, so it's probably fine. So it's really a toss-up. I don't know which one is better. It's not that easy to decide. I'll take this one. And by the way, there's a bishop blocking the queen. But the bishop can't move anywhere that's dangerous. So I would just take the queen. G4. Wow. Okay. It's attacking my queen. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4. So we are up 2 pawns, which means queen trades could be okay. So this is an option for me. I don't have to do it. I could also take this. But since queen trades are an option, I think that's probably fine. And the reason that they're an option is because I'm ahead material. If we go into an endgame, I'm confident I'm going to have the advantage, right? I have 4 against 3, and I have 3 against 2. And that was a blunder. I actually forgot the bishop was attacked. Totally forgot. So that was a big mistake. I should have done something else. And now trading is not ideal because I just lost a piece. So what do we do about this mess? Well, I'm thinking I can't castle. There's a bishop there. Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. This is the big threat. I think we have to deal with that. I'm also talking too much, so I have to move faster. So we have a minute and a half. I got to just pick up the pace here. I can't explain every little thing. So we dodge the fork. We clear the way for the rook to come to the center. Like I said, this was just a complete blunder on my part. Forgot that the bishop was attacked. And let's see, we need to develop these pieces. We need to get the rooks into the game because we're basically playing with just the queen right now. So let's see, what is white going to do? Are they going to take us? No, they go knight f4. So this allows me to go check. I'm going to do it because it looks like their king doesn't have a lot of support. Also, it's attacking the rook. Now, they might be able to save the rook because of this guy, but I still think I'm going to be able to maybe attack the king. Oh, okay, they go back, so they forgot about the rook. So now we can just take the rook. And it looks like we're going to actually get both rooks. Now, this is an interesting moment. Because even though I can get both rooks, what about my king? Right? I have to figure out, am I going to survive this position or not? So takes, check, I block. Let's just say check. I go back. Yeah, I don't see any immediate threats. Oh, there's maybe, yeah, that's very tricky actually. Knight goes there instead. Maybe that's the way. Maybe I block with the knight. Okay, so I think I found a solution, but you do want to make sure you look at it. Because if this was like a forced checkmate, I couldn't take the rook. I'd have to come back and defend with my queen. But I think I can play knight here, and I don't see what white can do. Because they can't go there, they can't go there, they can't go here because of my knight. I think I'm surviving. And if they take me, I take back, and then yeah, I just don't see what they're going to do. So I think we're surviving. A little bit tricky, but we did get 2 rooks, so that's a pretty big deal, right? As long as we don't get checkmated, we're gonna win the end game. Okay, they do take it. Let's take back. It gives them 1 check, but we just go back, and then they're out of checks, right? They can take, but I just take it. They can't come here. There's no checks there. This diagonal is controlled. That's a free queen. They're trying to checkmate me, but that's just a free queen. Whew, all right. So we survived. I did blunder that bishop completely, though. That was a big mistake, but they also made some blunders themselves. Okay, so let's get the queen out of there. Actually, no, we have a pin. Let's do the pin. We have a nice pin. That basically eliminates the knight from the game, and we can take it next move. And so we only have 1 knight to even worry about, which obviously can't do much on its own. Okay, I could take it, but I'm instead going to bring my queen in, take it this way, and it's not even going to be a trade. It's just a free knight. Okay, let's start looking for checkmates. Let's see. We can go here. I need another piece or two, I think. Let me play c6. I'm going to play c6 to get my pawn to help support these white squares. I think that's a safe pre-move. Let's go ahead. Yeah, I'll probably just push the pawns forward and checkmate the king that way. Go b5, a5, a4. He's attacking my queen. We don't want to just give away the queen. There's actually a checkmate right there. Well, there we go. Okay, interesting game. Let's check the game review. I did mess that up, though, that one moment. Yeah, 51-64. Big mess. A big mess. And yeah, you could see here, completely forgot about that and just gave away the advantage. So what should I have done instead? Wow, what a crazy move. Bishop takes e2 with a pin. If they take my queen, I take their queen. That's a crazy move. I didn't see that. Or even just queen e5. Just moving somewhere that keeps it defended would have been fine as well. So, okay. Now, next game, 10 moves in the middle. All right, we're going to make it a little more challenging. She's got to play 10 moves in the middle. So I'm going to play the first 5 moves? 10 moves. 5. Okay, I'll play the first 5 moves, and then I'll pass it off to her, and she'll take over. All right, so we're white. I'm going to get a pawn in the center. I'm going to attack it with my knight. Okay, we're going to get another pawn in the center. Just get the center control. Make sure all of our pieces have options. Okay, we're just going to take that back. Just want to develop and castle as quickly as we can and pay attention to any threats the black might make. Okay, what is it a threat? Yes. Remember, we want to develop and defend if possible. If I see a nice way to do that, knight c3. That's my 5 moves.
Oh.
Now it's her turn. All right, you got 10 moves.
All right. So it's, I guess I need to trade. Here. I'm shaking. My elbow's quivering. Can you feel it quivering? Ah. Weird move. I don't know if that was purposeful. I'm going to try it.
All right, so let's talk about it. So this was the position where you took over from. Trading, totally fine. Developing your bishop, great. You defended, all right, fine. Develop, great. Traded, great. Castled, great. Queen E2, great move. You were saying, like, I don't know if this is useful. Connecting your rooks is usually a good thing.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, on the screen.
That's what I was thinking. Connect the rooks.
Yeah. So that was great. D5. Okay, you started to take it. And then I don't know why you talked yourself out of it. This was a great move because our queen is lined up on their king. They haven't castled yet. Now is the time, absolutely, when we want to open this up and go after the king. And you like, I think you like moved it, and then I don't know. Do you know why you stopped?
I don't.
Yeah, I was like, yes, she's gonna do it, and then you changed. This is not a bad move. I mean, you're pinning it, but it does allow him to push by, which they did, and now we can't take anymore, and we can't get to their king. So I would have really liked to see you take that.
Man.
And then, oops, sorry.
What move number was it? 12?
Yeah, 13. So they push. Don't want to be putting our knights on the edge unless we absolutely have to, and it was pinned. They couldn't take you anyway because your rook was there.
Go back.
This pawn can't move like that, or they lose their queen. So you didn't have to move it. So we don't like to put our knights over here. They're just not very effective. So this was a good move. You're attacking the center and taking advantage of this. So that was a nice move. All right. So they go here. They're attacking our bishop, right? 2 times. So probably should move that. Where can we move it to? We can go to the center. Seems in okay, or we can go here and then let them trade. Either one is probably fine. Oh, wait a second. We could just take it. That's an interesting option. It would be like a trade. And then we could take this pawn. The rook is kind of here. Yeah, I think I still like this one. I like leaving the knight stranded over there. We're still threatening to take it. And our bishop is very strong in the middle, like attacking all kinds of stuff and defending. And yeah, it just looks so much better than this knight. So I like that move. They did the same thing, put their knight on the edge, and you can see it's not good.
Do you know why I moved the knight to the edge?
Yeah, you were afraid of the pawn taking it. You said that.
What should I do?
That's what I said. It couldn't take it. It couldn't take it. So you just had to notice that. Yeah. Okay, so they just go back. Interesting decision. I think now we just take this because we have 1, 2, 3. They only have 2 defenders. So take it. And then I could take with the rook, attack the queen, and then double up, create a battery. Or I could take with the bishop, creating this very clever attack. I think I'll just take with the rook. I don't need to get fancy. I'll just create this battery that's going to be very powerful. It also defends my knight, which I do like. So let's just do that. We're going to move their queen somewhere, and then we'll double up. Okay, like I said, this is okay. It's defended by the rook. So make sure you always kind of have an idea. 3, 4, 5, 6 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we did trade pieces, that's okay. I have an extra pawn. I would probably have an advantage in the endgame. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. If you need to trade, it's okay. But also I have a much more active position. My rooks are very good. My bishop is very good. Queen's pretty good. Only this knight is kind of a problem. So I'm going to be looking to probably try to bring that back to the center if I can somehow. Okay, interesting move. So they're attacking this knight, right? If I take them, they take me. That's just a trade, and my knight is still kind of stranded. But I think I might just use this opportunity to bring the knight back. This is fine. We can just take it. And now the knight is in a much better position. It's supporting my center. It's not, a target. It's defended. Okay, that's an interesting move. Attacking this way. We could take the rook. We could think about invading. As a general rule, I don't like to give up my 2 rooks for a queen. I feel like the 2 rooks are pretty good. Probably just going to take it. I don't think I'll go for that. And I do have 1 minute and 20 seconds. That's not a lot. So let's try to pick up the pace. I'm going to bring my queen to a square that attacks a bunch of stuff, also defends my knight, and take with the bishop, I guess. I want to keep my queen defending this pawn. That's why I didn't want to move it. Although maybe that was going to work out for us. I just didn't want to think about it. So this is the safe option. Everything is kind of defended. This is defending here and here. This guy's controlling the file in the back rank. You have a threat, threatening to potentially take this pawn. Okay, what are they attacking? Well, looks like right here. So I think I'm going to play f3. Oh, nope. That's a fork. Almost fell for it. We can't do that. Maybe h3 then, but then they can jump in and attack me. So that's a pretty good move, actually. It's a pretty good move. There's also this. So I think we need to go maybe... I have an idea. I have a good idea. Let's go here. So I'm kind of... Almost looks like I'm defending, but really I'm not. I'm really going for checkmate instead. Right? I'm creating a much more powerful threat. So they're going to have to pause and deal with the checkmate. So how are they going to do that? I don't know. E5 going to allow me to put them in check. And then I still have to kind of figure out how I'm going to defend. Maybe with just the rook could be an option. First, let's see. Okay, they didn't see it. They didn't even see it. And so nothing else really matters. The only thing that matters is that we have a checkmate that we just take. All right. Survived. All right. 40 wins.
Quick comment.
Yep.
I love how it was 1 minute and 52 seconds and you were talking about the end game. That's not a lot of time on the clock.
No.
And then you had 30 some seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 84 accuracy.
I hardly ever make it to the end game.
Yeah. Gotta work on that time management. All right. Last game. So I'll play the first 5 moves and then you'll play. Here we go. Oh, by the way, we're 707. We crossed 700. Let's play E4 again. Best by test. E5. We're going to attack it again. You can't go wrong starting games like this. And D4. Scotch game. Very solid way to start. D6. Okay. Usually, I'm going to take advantage of this and make the trade because, and I can do it and make the trade because once they lose castling rights, it's a lot of times we can quickly develop castle long ourselves. And when we castle long, remember, the rook jumps over and then boom, we get a nice quick check on their king. And it's usually a pretty good position. So I'm going to do that. And then, well, it's not my turn. It's her turn now. So she's going to take over.
You were talking very quickly, but I think you said do a queen trade. So I'll do that. Am I right?
I'm not allowed to say anything.
All right. They lose castling rights. Okay. Is that called a pin? You can tell me later, but I think pin because it came. All right. I think that's called an unprotected pawn. Go there. I don't see anything. Sorry.
All right, let's quickly talk about what happened. So she remembered that, great. And then you developed your pieces perfect and you castle. That's exactly what I had in my mind when I traded the queen. You brought the bishop out, fantastic. You traded, that's great because you gave them double isolated pawns. So these are like weaknesses, these are targets. That's great. This was not a bad idea, actually. I like this. You're setting up to play, a pawn in the center and kind of fight for this. So the only thing is, like, maybe you don't want to give them the opportunity to trade off those pawns, but that's a small thing. I think this is fine. They didn't even do it. You took, and then whenever you're in a situation you don't know what to do, like, I always like to ask myself, what's my worst piece and how can I make it better? So, like, this rook is stuck in the corner, not doing anything. So, like, how can I make it better? Well, maybe I go here. Maybe I go here. Or what you did was actually a really good move. You're defending your knight so that you don't have to mess up your pawns, and you're potentially setting up to double up here. So I like that. Now, I think the best move probably would have been blocking with the bishop. You can keep your knight defending this pawn because we may end up losing that. Yeah, it looks like we're going to lose it, but actually maybe not because now we're counterattacking. So yeah, I think what you did was totally fine. All right, so I don't want to mess up my pawn structure like this, so I'm going to take with the rook. And I do get the bonus that it's attacking this pawn. So if black goes for the bait here, okay, they didn't. They defended. If they would have, I would have jumped in and I would have started taking all these pawns. So they defend. Okay, let's think about this carefully. We could defend our pawn. That's one option, right? Just deal with the immediate threat. Or we could try to counterattack somehow, like maybe bishop f4, or maybe throw in a check here. I'm not sure if that helps me. Oh, that actually allows me to defend with this rook. Okay, I kind of like that because I'm taking a piece that's not doing anything and then, making it better. So bishop c5, rook e1. I guess we could push it forward. The problem with pushing pawns forward is you open up squares, right? And this square, which is now covered, would be open and the knight would jump right in and start attacking stuff, right? So I don't think we want to do that. So let's go with the check here. I think I'm going to play rook e1 next. Okay, but now I have another option. I could pin it also. That might even be better. Let's pin it. Why do I want to pin it? Because I'm threatening to just take it next move. I'm going to go here and okay, they stopped me. That's a good move. Yeah, that's pretty smart, I guess. So how can we take advantage of this? Is there anything I can do? Rook f5 just to make a threat. I kind of like the idea of that. Maybe rook here to try to sneak in on the 7th rank. Let's start with rook f5 and see what they do. So we'll go here. We're just kind of increasing the pressure, trying to see if they'll make a mistake. They could defend it, though. I'm going to have to figure out a plan. King, that's a pretty good move. Yeah, they use the king to defend. Okay, now this is under attack. Probably need to defend that. That's a great move, actually. Yeah, all right, let's defend the pawn. Kind of an important pawn, like holding things together in the center. And, ooh. No, they're not going to see this, I don't think. But if they did, wow, knight takes e4 would be a great move by black. They didn't see it. I would have been surprised if they did. I'm going to go back. It's still there, though. This idea is if I take them, then I lose my rook because the pawn is defending my rook. Now it doesn't work anymore because I'm attacking it. They didn't see it, so they did something else. So we got a little lucky there. Okay, so what's the big threat? This and this. Let's save both of those things. Save the rook by moving it, defend the pawn. And I need to pick up the pace. They're playing really fast. We're down to a minute and a half. And the game is not close to being over. So we need to figure out how to do this. Let's attack the knight. Because if I can make the knight move, guess what? We get the pawn. 2 attackers, 2 defenders, but if we make one leave, we have enough. If they take me, I take with check, and then I take their knight. So they have to be careful here. They have to be really careful. I think they have to move their knight back. Only move. They're still going to lose a pawn, but at least they save their knight. Knight f6 is what I expect. Then I'm jumping in with a check. And we'll go from there. Of course, if they try to take, yeah, that's a mistake because this comes with a check. And then they end up losing the knight. So that was not the right decision. Now I'll take here to defend and attack. Okay, so we are pinned, but that's all right. I think I can just bring my king. Support the rook. Now we're no longer pinned. We can now move again if we want. Nope, now we're pinned again because they attacked me. Let me put him in check and then keep thinking what I'm going to do next. Okay, we could go back here and try to go into the end game. Yeah, let's do that. Actually, no. Then we lose the pawn. I don't want to lose that pawn. I don't want to do that. Let's see. Let me play c4. And sometimes it's a good idea to blockade the pawns on the same color as your bishop because they're easy targets for later. So that's what I was thinking with c4. Okay, so they do trade going to the endgame, but I don't lose my pawn. That's a critical detail. All right, and I will take this. They take me, I take them. Okay, if they try to go there, we save our pawn just to make sure they don't get a passed pawn. And this is going to be a winning endgame. My king is obviously going to be able to come in before their king can get over there. And I'm going to just gobble up these pawns. And that's how we're going to win, with one of these guys becoming a queen. You just want to make sure that they can't get this pawn passed. So I'm just going to bring my bishop far away so the king can't keep attacking it. Keep this guy defended. If they ever push, we just take it. And of course, I'm just going to take the pawn and get a queen, like I said. So that's it. Straightforward now. 30 seconds is plenty of time once you have, one or two queens, right? And so let's just start pushing that. Okay. Bring the bishop back so we don't lose it. Okay, let's move the king out of the way, push the other pawn. Okay, we will take that. And now we can actually push this guy if we want to make our life easy. You don't have to. You could just do it with these pawns. It's totally up to you. But yeah, they just resigned. Okay. We did it. Good job. All right. 41 wins. And let's check the game review. I think it was a pretty well played game. Yep, 84. Great. Yeah, I think actually Stockfish says this was the best move. So, way to go. Stockfish move. All right. Yeah, I would have probably played bishop d4 just to block it off. And if they take, we take, and now we can double up. But rook d3 was good. Great. Good job. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks. And as always, stay sharp, play smart. Take care.